Just a very quick agenda. So I'm going to just give you a very quick background and overview as to what Sage Enterprise Intelligence is. We'll get into a success story that we have to share. My colleague Jazz will get into a product demonstration as well, and then we'll leave it up for Q&A at the end. So we'll jump right into it. Just to give you a background as to who we are, so we're Nectari Software. We're actually a company based outside of Montreal, or inside of Montreal, I should say, in Montreal. And we have been a Sage OEM solution for the last 10 years. So Sage decided to rebrand our solution under their name and distribute it across the globe. We actually started with X3. We were an X3 reseller formerly, so that's where we have the most, or had the most knowledge and most experience, and really what we found with our own customers, and the reason why we developed Sage Enterprise Intelligence, or Nectari, was because of some of those inherent gaps within the ERP solution when it came to being able to easily access data and report on data. So that's what we found with our own customers. We of course saw the opportunity and developed Sage Enterprise Intelligence for that reason. In terms of the X3 space, we do have quite a few customers using the solution today, again, across the globe. In North America, we have roughly 65 to 70% of Sage X3 customers who are benefiting from the solution today. As you'll see on this slide, we're available for many other solutions. Some of them are here today. Of course, Sage Intacct and Sage 300 are there as well. So when we talk about SEI, it's all about data analysis and reporting and giving companies like yourselves an easy way to access information, not only information from X3, but if you have outside sources as well, third-party applications that you might be utilizing perhaps for a CRM, a third-party application for payroll, what have you. We're providing an easy way to pull all of that information together and really give your organization enterprise-wide insight into that data so you can then use that data to your advantage, be proactive, and make better business decisions. In terms of some of the benefits, of course, being able to get to your decision quickly, not having to rely on your partner or the IT department when you're using X3 and you really need a specific piece of information, really being able to do that on your own. As salespeople, we like to very easily go in and see what our customer bought last month, what potentially they might be looking to purchase this month. Just giving the ability for us to do that on our own. It's a very easy to use solution, as you'll see. We provide multiple interfaces as well. So if you are somebody who's very comfortable in Excel, no worries there. We do have that platform available. But the web is super intuitive, lots of drag and drop, and Jazz will show that to you in the demo. It's about enablement. It's also about sharing, being able to very easily share information. One of the biggest value adds with SEI is the distribution module. So if you're in a situation where the CEO or CFO is asking for some kind of report at the end of each month or at the beginning of each week, and you're going and printing it out and putting it on their desk, the distribution kind of solves that issue for you by allowing you to schedule those reports to automatically be sent to any user or non-user of SEI or X3. So just, again, automating that whole process through the sharing. Now, another one of our big advantages with Sage X3 and Sage in general, and Jeff mentioned it in the beginning, is really the integration. So we've been around for X3 for many, many years. We're fully integrated. We can even embed our solution within the X3 interface. But when I talk about integration, what I mean is that we deliver many different templates, we call them, or data models, out of the box with the solution that you can start benefiting from upon implementation. So when you're looking for your basic reports, balance sheet, income statement, so on and so forth, or your sales reports or what have you, that's already there when you implement SEI. We're connected directly to X3. We can pull the data in real time, again, on the web interface or the Excel. And you can also utilize those reports to connect to multiple different data sources, even outside of X3. You can easily filter through your data. If you have multiple different departments, multiple different companies set up, being able to get that consolidated view, but also drill into the detail as well. As far as performance goes, I did mention the fact that we can connect in real time, but we also deliver what's called data cubes with SEI as well. That really improves and accelerates the performance of your reports when we're dealing with really large volumes of data or large transaction volumes daily. You want to make sure you're not waiting 15, 20 minutes for a report to load. Typically, we see that more on the sales and the finance side because that's typically where there's the most transaction volume. So utilizing those out-of-the-box cubes can also be a good option when it comes to those scenarios. I won't get too in-depth into the key differentiators, but I will say what we're really trying to provide with SEI is kind of that missing piece from the ERP solution, being that we want to provide our users with an easy way to access information, whether, again, it's in the web, Excel. You also may want to give access to information to users who don't necessarily need access to X3. So you might have users who are simply wanting to create and run reports. You don't want to enforce, that they have an X3 login, and are logging into that solution every time they need to get access to some kind of information to do their jobs, essentially. So I'm going to, actually no, I have one more slide. Sorry about that. Again, talking a little bit about the scalability, I did want to introduce one of our customer success stories. This is actually the largest X3 customer worldwide. They're called Vinci Construction in France, and they've been utilizing SEI and actually deploying, I think they're going to be deploying about 1,000 users of the software, again, to access their X3 data. They'll also be bringing in some other construction systems. Not to scare you, SEI is scalable, like I said, but we can also scale down the other way. So, for smaller customers as well, we're definitely a fit there too. So I'm done now, yes, and I'll pass it over to Jazz, and he'll get in some demo and show you the magic of SEI.
All right, thanks Olivia for your presentation, and thank you everyone again for joining us today. My name is Jasdeep, and I'm pre-sales engineer for SEI, and I'll walk you through the product demonstration now. And please keep your questions towards the end, because we'll have a Q&A round, so we'll address those questions later in the presentation. All right, so I will begin by showing you what Olivia emphasized on earlier in the presentation, how we can embed SEI fully within Sage X3. So what we are looking at here is that I'm logged into Sage X3, and we have this native dashboard from SEI, which is fully embedded in here. And it's not just the pretty image that we are looking at. We are fully able to communicate with the data within this dashboard as well. So that means we can go into the different filters, apply a new fiscal period or any of the dimensions, and see the data changing on the fly on this dashboard while remaining within Sage X3. Similarly, you can embed multiple dashboards. This is an example of a CFO dashboard, but you can embed your sales dashboards, your dashboards on purchasing, so on and so forth. Or what you can also do is to embed the entire solution, SEI, within Sage X3 as well, just like here. So just wanted to start on the note that the solution you can use within Sage X3 if that's easier for you to get to your reports with a click of a button. Now with that, I will switch to the standalone version of SEI, and this is what it looks like, the interface, and I'll quickly walk you through the main interface here, which has the command center on the left-hand side of the screen, where we have out-of-the-box data models. So now with SEI, as soon as it is implemented for you, you will have two sets of templates out of the box. One of them is the Sage X3 tailored template set, where you have all the modules on sales, finance, purchasing, logistics, manufacturing, which you can further go into and see all the different reports which come out of the box with these modules. So for example, here for the financials, we have transaction details. Same goes for the sales, where we have the invoice analysis, so on and so forth. All these reports, again, in the real time. So if any of the transactions are posted within Sage X3, you will be able to see them posted in these reports right away. On top of that, we also have the universal data model, which allows you to connect to other sources of data as well if you have. It could be a CRM software in the cloud. It could be any of your legacy systems that you might want to connect to and report on that data set. So you have the ability to bring in those data sources as well and consolidate the information together to see all of that information in one report. So with that, let's go ahead and open some of the reports, because I would like to show you what these, how these reports function, what's the basic principle behind them. So I'm opening a very basic report, GL transaction details, and we can get to some more complex reports after this. But just to explain you how these work, they all are based on the groups, pivots, and columns, the three shells that we see here on the top. So depending on what fields we enter here in these shells, that would decide what data set we are looking at in the report. So to give you an example, we have three different fields here, fiscal year followed by the fiscal period and the account code. That's the same level of drill down that I'm able to do on this report. So if I go into the fiscal year That's, by the way, the list of the fiscal years, because the fiscal year was the first field. And then I'm drilling down to see the next level, which is the fiscal period. And then I can further drill this down to see all the accounts for which I have the postings. And we can further go down to the raw level details as well, which is the document number, the transaction currency, the transaction date. So you can really drill down to those levels of transactions with the help of these drill down feature. Again, to bring in more dimensions of your choice, we have the toolbar on the right-hand side from where we can go and grab new dimensions, new KPIs, and easily drag and drop them into the report. So for example, here, if I would like to bring in my company codes, so I can go and grab the company code from my company folder and simply drag and drop that in. And then the report will reload to show me all the company sets that I have within my Sage X3 system. Similarly, I can go into the measures where we have all the different KPIs, such as the debit, credit postings, the global postings, so on and so forth. And each worksheet, each report in SEI, depending on which data model it is linked to, will have different sets of KPIs and dimensions that we can drag and drop in. I'll show you another example of something more complex as a report. Let's go into universal data model and open the income statement. This is another neat feature that we can also set up for these reports, where we can clearly define the parameters that we are looking for to filter on. So I'm filtering on 2018 as my fiscal year. My fiscal period, let's say it's 5. And then I see the data for the same selection that I made in this report here. So I have the sales. I can also just collapse this so I can see the entire report here, sales, cost of goods sold. We also have the calculations already done for the gross margin, net income. And what's also interesting about these reports is all these different KPIs, which give us a very good starting point when it comes to not having to create these calculations from the scratch on our own. So if you want the calculations on the year to date, you want to see your rolling 12, your actuals versus posting, all those different KPIs, you can simply grab them right from here because they are pre-built and delivered out of the box, and you can simply drag and drop them in the report. And the next thing you see is that they are now showing us those important metrics that we need in these reports. So some of the reports, they all are based on the same principle, like I said, and they are, of course, not only limited to financials. We also have other modules, like I said, for sales, manufacturing, purchasing, logistics, so on and so forth. So let's have a look at another one on the inventory side. I'll open this report. Again, we have here the same principle, how we can drill down to different levels of details in these reports. Here we are looking at the product codes, and then if I further drill that down, I can see the location codes as well. What I can do is to easily swap the fields. If I want to see my location first before the products, here I have all the locations. I can also very easily filter on the data, so to keep some very specific locations in my report. So I can add them to the filter, and then next I can do is maybe remove some of the fields I don't want to see. Let's say I only want to keep these 3 columns in my report. So you can see how easy it is to slice and dice the information very quickly. And next, I would also like to see this location code. This report, in fact, by locations. So now I have, by putting my location code in the pivots, I can see a separate column for each location where I can easily compare the quantities by location. So you can really bring in any dimension of your choice. It could be a fiscal year, it could be a fiscal period, it could be a location code to easily view the data the way you want to see. Now let's move on to the next part, which is the dashboards. So just like the out-of-the-box reports, we also have out-of-the-box dashboards, which are delivered with the solution. So if I go into CFO dashboard, these dashboards are very powerful again because they come with a lot of different KPIs, different visualizations already put in place together so that you have your insights right within the same page. And you can easily customize these dashboards as well to bring in maybe a data from sales or purchasing or manufacturing, all within the same space. So if I want to customize this dashboard, for example, I can simply remove this visualization if I want, and anything that I create, even on my own, because you do have the ability to create your own reports very easily in SEI too. You can simply go and bring in a new visualization by simply dragging and dropping that in. And the next thing that you see is now that you have a new visualization in this dashboard. Then comes the sharing and distribution. So each visualization within SEI gives you the ability to easily share and distribute these dashboards or reports. So let's take invoice analysis, for example, where this is something very interesting for those of you who have who are dealing with the, I don't know, sorry. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know where the battery is just a little messy here, but so here in this report, okay, I hope this fixes it. So what I wanted to show you here is that if you are having if you have the business which is product based, so if you're manufacturing these products, so you can bring in those images of those products from within Sage X3 and embed them within SCI as well. So I was showing you this report right here where we have the integration and the ability to bring in those images along with the, the ability to even add the hyperlinks into these reports, so we can easily switch back to Sage X3 if needed with the help of these reports and the integration of hyperlinks. And coming back to the sharing and distribution side, let me open another report here, sales by sales rep, let's say. So let's say if I have this report and I want to export this report in the format of my choice. I can use any of the sharing features which are available within with SCI. I can export this report in a format of my choice, like I said, in PDF, Excel. You can choose the format, and then it will be exported in that file. Or what you can also do is send a comment on these reports as well, where the solution will take a screenshot for you, and then you can even use the marker to add any annotations, add any comments of yours, and then send a direct email to your colleagues directly from within SCI. So that's the collaboration side of it. And on top of that, we also have the ability to create reporting packs with the help of the distribution module. So if you want to create this PDF file which has a bunch of different financial visualizations, dashboards, and financial statements put together, you can create that file as well very easily with the help of the scheduler module, where you will be able to choose how you want to export these reports and how often you would like to schedule the distribution of these reports as well. So you can have the scheduler here where you can choose the time and date. If it's on a daily basis, it's on a weekly basis. You pick your time, your days, and then you set which reports you further want to be added to this reporting pack as well. So let's say if I want to create a financial reporting pack, I can go and pick the different financial reports that I would like to keep in the reporting pack. And as a result, here it will be the reporting pack which will be sent out to the different recipients, where you can have a nice title of the document on the top, followed by the table of contents, and you can even embed your dashboards and all your financial statements one after the other. So something which a lot of our users are already using, and they really like this, that they are able to just schedule the distribution without having to worry about running behind IT people to send out the reports for them. So that was the SCI's web application. I must mention that SCI also offers, with its universal data model, the ability to create financial budgets and sales forecasting as well. So we have the module right here. If ever you're interested in that, we do have the ability to create those. We have the built-in algorithm within the application where you can choose out of the 5 different methods. It could take your percentage. It could take your last year's posting, for example, and you have the choice to apply a 5% increase, a 10% increase to those postings to generate the budgets or the forecast for the next year. So if that's something that interests you, it exists as the functionality. All right, so with that, now we'll switch to the second platform, which is the Excel add-in. So those of you who really like to create reports and want to continue working within Excel, here are some of the examples of the Excel reports, which are also built with the SCI, but on the Excel. So these are over 25 different tools that we have, which we can use to create these reports. Be it simply extracting the list of different dimensions. For example, in this report right here, where we have extracted the list of different accounts for building this income statement, or it's just basically creating the calculations on each individual cell. This tool itself is user-friendly enough that you do not have to type in the big formulas in the formula bar, for example. You can simply go and pick which data model you want to work on, which fields you would like to use, and what operation you would like to do to get that calculation in that cell. And the rest is applying those filters. So fiscal year, for example, is coming from the cell right here, fiscal period, so on and so forth. And that's how each one of these reports is actually created using this tool. So that is another platform as well, which is part of the same package, same offering, no additional cost, but you have the choice of the two different platforms you can choose. And while I'm talking about the Excel, I must mention that we also now have recently integrated a brand new functionality within the web application itself to bring in that Excel-like functionality within the web application. So here, for example, we have this business dashboard which is created within the web application using the Excel-like functionality right here. So as you see, the first glance, the entire layout of the report here, or this dashboard, is very much like Excel. You have the same spread of rows and columns, and then you have the different formatting options you can choose from, page layout, formulas, the Excel formulas, and then you can also use some of the advanced features, such as the date picker right here. So if I want to go and pick a different date and apply that as my filter, it readily changes the data on the fly for me. And I can also even use the checkbox lists where I can easily filter on the data using those checkboxes as well. Some of the functionalities which go beyond the traditional Excel, which now you will be able to use within a web application while remaining within one platform. And knowing the fact that you can even embed SCI within Sage X3, it further gives you the ability to use the same web workbooks while remaining within Sage X3. All right, so with that and a little glitch in the middle, I'm sorry about that, but I come to the conclusion of my presentation. Thank you.